because wanting it just isn't good enough. You've got to be smarter, faster, tougher. After all, if championships were easy, everybody would have one. City University of New York Athletic Conference. Learn, play, succeed.
The best new sports web series is here. It's from Backpack Broadcasting, and it's called The Sports Walk. The Sports Walk is a series where diverse sports fans take a walk
from the campus of the Borough of Manhattan Community College. As tonight on Facebook Live, the CUNY Athletic Conference presents the Community College Basketball Championships. It's game one of a doubleheader presented by Army ROTC as the number one in the region and in the conference. Hostos Caymans at 21-2. They take on the 17-4 BMCC Panthers. Welcome here on Facebook Live tonight alongside Nick Diamantis. I'm Ralph Bednarczyk. We have two quality teams, but number one, Hostos, has been number one since the middle of December. They have been rolling all season long. Despite some personnel defections, they have still played super basketball.
And they haven't skipped a beat. They are missing Kashmir Fulcher, who was the preseason player of the year coming into this season. Also the tournament MVP last year when they beat BMCC on this home court. It's going to be a very interesting matchup. Two different teams coming into this game. It's going to be fun to watch Kayla Wilson and Nikola Zhilikova go at it tonight.
And these two teams have already met twice this season. Hostos won both meetings, but BMCC feels they could have the experience it could take to upend them, including a couple of sophomores like Nikola Zhilikova, particularly manning the point.
Yeah, she had a 20-point, 10-rebound performance Tuesday night in the semifinal win. She's going to have a very similar performance tonight if they're going to want to make a game out of this Hostos final matchup tonight here at BMCC.
And you look, Nick, at this Hostos program, tremendous defections out of their lineup, but there have been some players that have emerged, including the 6'1" freshman Kayla Wilson, who became the conference's player of the year.
Yep, Kayla Wilson, enough said about her this entire year. She's the CUNYAC player of the year in the community college level. She had a 23-point, 19-rebound performance against Queensborough Tuesday night. Again, she's the leader, she's the rock of this Hostos Cayman squad. If they're going to win this game, she's going to have another impressive performance like that tonight.
So Hostos, their dreams are to capture a national championship. This is just part of that process. BMCC, they get a crack at them on their home floor tonight. We're coming back with the opening tip and the starting lineups coming up on Facebook Live.
Evans for three. Oh, how about that? And now the Dolphins break in as it's Rizikowski who drills it in. Trip, nice move. And finished. Nice pass, Core with the jam.
Yeah.
Flies the ball up to the near post, and there to hit the ball into the goal is Mustafa Harani.
And a slam by Sidney Wilson.
At Lehman College, your dreams turn into aspirations, your motivations into actions. At Lehman, we help you achieve your goals today. Lehman shows you how to transform your hard work and commitment into a smarter and better future for all of us. Together, we inspire each other and empower each other because we believe in dreams. Here, students don't just study cancer, they strive to cure it. They don't just study business, they start their own. They don't just play music, they create it. They don't just live in our community, they change it. Every day, our amazing faculty and students who come from all over the world follow their dreams and create their own Lehman stories. Here at Lehman College, what will your story be?
Facing the #1 ranked team Hostos with a big question mark in their lineup. They did not know if they would have their sophomore forward Sheba Foster. Now, Sheba doesn't typically play on Friday nights or Saturdays due to religious beliefs. So when she found out that tonight's final was going to be played on a Friday, she said, "Coach, I got to talk to my family." And they found out just a couple of hours ago that she is going to play. So the good news for BNCC is they will have their full starting lineup, and they are going to need it against Hostos. As we know, this team is undefeated in the league, and their smallest margin of victory, 29 points, and that came against BMCC. So the Panthers have their work cut out for them here at home tonight. For more, we have the starting lineups coming up in just a bit.
No one ever won a race because it was their turn. And guzzling the right sports drink never won all 3 sets. You can't talk your way through a tournament, and luck doesn't last. Real champions know that it takes more to do more, because wanting it just isn't good enough. You've got to be smarter, faster, tougher. After all, if championships were easy, everybody would have one. City University of New York Athletic Conference. Learn, play, succeed.
The best new sports web series is here. It's from Backpack Broadcasting, and it's called The Sports Walk. The Sports Walk is a series where diverse sports fans take a walk and share their views at the intersection of sports and society. The entire first season is now available on Backpack Broadcasting's YouTube channel and backpackbroadcasting.com. See what other sports fans have to say about a variety of issues in the world of sports. Watch all 13 episodes from season 1 and take The Sports Walk today.
Evans for three. Oh, how about that? Now the Dolphins break in as it's Wizakowski who drills it in. Trip, nice move, and finished. Nice pass, Moore with the jam.
Yeah.
Welcome back this evening to the campus of BMCC, downtown Manhattan tonight. Ralphie Norchik alongside Nick Diamantis and our sideline reporter Jillian Sakovitz. Let's have a look at our starters for the two teams here this evening. Hostos only dressing 7 players as they also have their 8th player that went down with an injury. So the Caymans, despite having 16 straight wins, they're 21-2, but a smaller margin for error. Meanwhile, BMCC 8-2 in the conference. They went 17-4 overall. Well, Nick, for BMCC, while they lost both games and they were overwhelming Hostos wins, 91-39 on November the 28th, but then the better barometer, 72-43 on January the 27th. BMCC played better, just 25 turnovers, and Coach Ben Newberg felt they could take some positives from that game to give Hostos a push tonight.
Absolutely, and for BMCC, they're going to have to shoot the ball well exceptionally from behind the arc. That's the way that they're going to have to compete with Hostos, because Hostos centered mostly in the paint on their offense. They're going to get their points on the blocks, inside the elbows for the most part. Expect Shilikova and Ortega to take over on the offensive side for BMCC.
So the Caymans, they'll be the home team here wearing the one on white at BMCC in the 3rd meeting of the season. Hostos, they defeated BMCC in last year's final by a 66-53 margin, then 69-52. The two teams met again in late February of last year in the Region 15 championship game. The winner of this game will advance into the Region 15 tournament, and after that, the winner goes into the Junior College Division III National Tournament. That's where Hostos went a year ago, and they finished off a 31-4 season, 5th in the country after finishing 1-2 at that national tournament. And Coach DeVerney Winston felt that they got so much from that in terms of the speed and the personnel. As there's DeVerney in his 3rd season, the 2018 CUNY Athletic Conference Coach of the Year there on the right, leading his team. They took a lot of confidence from that opportunity that has motivated his returners this year.
And absolutely, they're going to expect the same from this year's squad, too. A lot of them are freshmen who will most likely return for their sophomore season next year. They have incredible forward play from Wilson and Patterson, so it's going to be interesting to see how quick they get to an offensive start here against this BMCC squad.
So the Panthers in the gray on gray. It'll be Jehoshiba Foster, 5'6" sophomore from Brooklyn, Nikola Zhilikova, Jessica Myers, Ebony Marshall, and Karina Ortega, the starters for the Panthers. For Hostos, the point guard is Regine Blakeney, joined by Ashley Smith, and Nyasha Howard with Skadesia Patterson and Kayla Wilson up front. Hostos winning the tip before Zhilakova will come up with the instant interception. Our officials doing the honors this evening as Zhilakova handles Sherry Zappola, Andre Smith, and Jorge Martinez. Hostos with a man-to-man look. Zhilakova and has to save it, but threw it away to the Caymans. With the Caymans, they make a living on turning teams over, but they turn it over themselves.
And we've seen 3 early turnovers in this game, 2 for Hostos and 1 for BMCC. It's going to be a crazy atmosphere, to say the least, here at BMCC. Both teams are going to need to limit those turnovers.
Hostos this year is scoring an amazing 89 points a game. That's second in NJCAA Junior College Division III, as Sheba Foster will get it back to Zhilakova. Zhilakova is a sophomore from Prague in the Czech Republic, and another turnover. Now another turnover right back as Foster took it in. She's denied at the rim, out of bounds. Hostos getting the block from Nyasha Howard impressively after Foster came up with a takeaway.
Yet to see any points here in this game so far. 4 turnovers early on.
BMCC to get it in. The open jumper is knocked down from Jessica Myers, a 5'8 freshman from Jackson, Tennessee. What a story. An all-star this year, originally, of course, from out of state, but spent nearly 3 years with the armed forces, tours of duty in Afghanistan and Korea.
Also was the Sportsmanship Player of the Year in the CUNY as well.
Shot inside, no good, contested at the rim. Follow-up opportunity by Skadeja Patterson. And it's handled outside by the Player of the Year, Kayla Wilson. Fresh shot clock for Hostos. And on the baseline drive, it's put up and in beautifully. That's Skadeja Patterson, 5'10 freshman from the Bronx, who is also getting some Division I interest right now for perhaps as early as next year.
And she's a very efficient scorer for this Hostos team. Had an incredible semifinal performance against
Sheba Foster, and as she handles, she is called for traveling.
As I was trying to say, she had an incredible performance against Queensborough. She finished with a 21.7 rebound performance. Hostos coach DeVerney Winston hoping that she can perform in a similar manner tonight.
The Caymans, as I touched on, they make a living off of turning you over. They force on average 31 turnovers a game, but it gets even better against league competition, where of course they've blown through the CUNY, having been 8-0, but they force a whopping 38 turnovers a game. Off the missed 3, BMCC getting the rebound from Ortega. Zhilakova was stripped and turned it over. However, Zhilakova nearly recovered it, and she and Patterson are tied up, and the arrow is going to point to BMCC.
Good hustle from both Zhilakova and Patterson there. It's a very, very intense game. Start off, we're only inside 2 minutes and 15 seconds of this game.
So the Panthers, they've won 3 in a row. They were the preseason favorite in the league as Myers missed a good look with Patterson defending. But that was before the rest of the coaches saw typically in junior college, as we have the foul on the floor, what kind of personnel Hostos was bringing back. And boy, they brought back a remarkable team pre all the defections following the first semester. So Hostos technically started out as the preseason number 2 team in the conference, but when the national poll came out, they were preseason number 5 in that one. Howard, Kayla Wilson. Wilson was double teamed, and the late whistle.
And that's a tough foul call there. Wilson will shoot too, but it looked like good defensive positioning there. And the foul is going to... Yep, it's going to be called against Ortega there.
So here's the terrific Kayla Wilson at 6'1", a freshman from Brooklyn's Canarsie High School. That was the CUNY Player of the Year. Is Hostos' second leading scorer at nearly 17, leading rebounder at nearly 13. And as Wilson came up through the New Heights AAU program, she makes a 90-minute commute every day from Brooklyn up to Hostos, which is located north in the Bronx. And a player that has returned from tearing her ACL and MCL between her junior and senior years in high school. So that slowed down her recruiting track as she misses the second as well.
Perhaps a little nerves there from Wilson. First free throws of the game. Expect to see a lot of those free throws today, as both teams are very physical and like to play pound-for-pound defense.
Regine Blakely picking up the foul. We're tied up at 2. So far, good news for BMCC, as they're the 2 seed trying to pull off a remarkable upset against the number 1 Hostos Caymans. There's a steal by Blakely, but then she's called for traveling. A glimpse of Regine Blakely's abilities. She averages nearly 6 steals a game. That's second in the country. Sheba Foster. Ortega, perhaps too fancy in the pass. Zhelakova, though, was bailed out and was fouled. Late closeout by Ashley Smith. And Nikola Zhelakova is going to go to the free throw line.
That's a wild pass from Ortega, but it seemed like Zhelakova was expecting a pass like that. She took the pass and smartly decided to take an early mid-range jump shot. She'll shoot 2 here.
So Nikola Zhelakova, 5'6", CUNY All-Star this year and last year, and the 3-time CUNY Player of the Week. She leads BMCC in scoring. And she's got her first points. A tremendous shooter that's looking to parlay this into a look at a 4-year level next year.
Yep, and she took a few years off between high school and college, decided to travel around the world, get her knowledge of the geography in Europe and Asia, and decided to come back to New York City to play basketball.
Wilson on the other end is fouled and is going back to the free throw line for Hostos. So Kayla Wilson, her story of adversity after tearing the ACL and MCL. She feels so much better 2 years off the ACL, as is typically the case. And she's in and out on this first free throw.
Yep. And she's, for the season, has been an offensive rebounding threat, to say the least. She had a 12 offensive rebound performance on Tuesday night against Queensborough.
1 of 2 on the high arcer for Wilson, who's a 57% free throw shooter. BMCC with a 4-3 lead, and they nearly turn it over against this Hostos press that has been deadly against competition this season.
As you mentioned, they're a team that likes to create a lot of turnovers on defense. They use their speed to get a steal just like that one.
It's Blakely. And Blakely off the takeaway. Coach DeVerney Wilson says it is her remarkable anticipation that allows her to get so many steals, as BMCC has gone to a zone look. Blakely fired the pass inside, recovery by Patterson, but she missed the layup.
Good defensive pressure by James there, as she will bring the ball down the court here.
The Panthers here off of a 20-7 year last year, 17-4 this season, despite turning over nearly their entire roster. Ortega stepped through, had the shot blocked from behind by Patterson. Regine Blakely out of Banneker High School in Brooklyn. Wilson, first 4 minutes gone in the opening quarters. Patterson saved it between her legs, but right to Foster of BMCC.
Now, you'd like to think that there's nerves on both sides here. A lot of turnovers on each side.
Zhelakova missing a leaner, but the rebound tapped out to Ortega for 3. Karina Ortega, a co-captain and their second leading scorer, knocks it down, and BMCC
it looks like they're going to rule it a 2
to
as her foot was on the line there. Yes, it is a 2. We got that confirmed. Ortega, nice jump shot there off the offensive rebound.
Blakely caught in between. Wilson missed the rebound inside as Regine Blakely caught in between shooting and passing. Ortega. So it is a 6-3 BMCC advantage. The block shot on Foster. Up ahead is Blakely for an easy 2.
And that's been the easiest basket of the afternoon so far for either team. Both teams putting the pressure on early. Hostos utilizing a 2-2-1 press.
2, Ashley Schmidt, then making the first appearance is number 15, Desiree Tolbert.
Sheba Foster, as Jillian told us, 3 hours ago, Ben Newberg found out he's going to have his starting 4 as Zhelakova knocks down her first bucket. It's a baseline jumper. And the lead is 3 now for BMCC, and they have a turnover coming from Hostos.
And this hometown crowd getting into the minds of these Hostos players early on.
23, Ebony Marshall checking in for the Panthers. Marshall replaces number 25, Karina Ortega.
Hostos so far struggling. They've just knocked down two buckets inside, and they've missed some free throws. And it is, as you see there on the score bug, it is BMCC actually with a 3-point lead, as there's a takeaway by Hostos. And a steal by Monet Thomas. One of just the 2 subs that Hostos has. And out of the corner, the baseline jumper is knocked down from Desiree Tolbert, a freshman in an incredible story out of Liberia in West Africa. Foster, out of control, offensive foul.
Excellent play there for Smith to give that dish to her teammate there. Excellent shot from Desiree Tolbert, and also on the defensive side, getting the charge to get the ball back. Sloppy play there from Foster there. She had plenty of time to create, decides to go to the rim a little bit too wild, and that will force her to take a seat on the bench.
BMCC does have some depth, in talking to Coach Ben Newberg in his 3rd season. Grew up going back to high school wanting to be a coach. He's been at SUNY New Paltz, was a team manager at Albany at the Division I men's level for Will Brown. There's a nice knockaway and a steal. Ebony Marshall, the freshman backup point guard. Then running the floor is Ortega to get the easy 2, and BMCC now leads by 3.
And smart dish there, and she had 2 players to choose from in that pass. Smartly went with Ortega, and Ortega with a nice left-handed finish.
Second field goal for Karina Ortega. And BMCC has remained in a zone look. Here challenging Hostos to knock down some perimeter shots. And a foul as Wilson was able to carve through some space.
And Coach Newberg did not like that foul call there, as he's always been an emotional coach on the sideline, often pacing back and forth here. And it's going to be a long afternoon for him if there's going to be calls like that for the remainder of the game.
Kayla Wilson already her 3rd trip to the free throw line. When I asked DeVerney Wilson what makes Kayla special, because she has a hunger and desire to go to the Division I level. And they've played her strictly at the 5 her whole career, but now she has added some guard skills over the course of the season. And that is starting to open up eyes of scouts and the people that Coach Winston speaks to about Wilson's potential for the next level. She makes 1 of 2 again. And BMCC with the board from Ebony Marshall. And Marshall, offensive foul. Again, she tried to turn the corner, and Monet Thomas of Hostos draws it.
And it's not the most, a little slight elbow there from Marshall. It's the little contact, but it's the nice sell by Hostos, and that's going to get them the ball back here. 2 offensive charges taken by Hostos in the last 2 minutes.
That one saved off the sideline by Desiree Tolbert. Wilson through traffic, blocked away. And the loose ball will be gathered by Marshall, as BMCC here has a 2-point lead against the #1 team in the country in the junior college ranks. Zhelakova, that's rejected by Wilson on a 3. Kayla Wilson forces it ahead, and 1.
And that's exactly what Hostos needs there. They need to get Kayla Wilson involved in this game. Seems like every opportunity that Hostos has, there's a defender or 2 right in their face. The transition offense is going to be what gets them the points on the board.
Ebony Marshall picking up her 2nd. Kayla Wilson again to the free throw line. Between graduating from Canarsie High School, Wilson attended Carolina Prep in North Carolina. Didn't have a great experience there. Wanted to find a chance to get back to the New York area somewhere, as Hostos, after the N1, takes the lead now at 11-10.
To say the least, it feels like she's found a comfortable home here with Hostos. Coach DeVerney Winston, taking pride in all of his players, wants them to excel wherever they go beyond their 2-year stint here at Hostos. And it seems that it's working out well for the program.
Yeah, DeVerney Wilson, especially I think the way he has mandated 2-hour study halls, or out as much as his players can make it, because that's what it's about in order to get eligible for the 4-year college level, as there's another turnover. Pushed up ahead, Wilson, big steps around Foster. Offensive rebound, Patterson flips it inside to Kayla Wilson. Wilson has 5, timeout BMCC, as they put together a 6-0 run.
And Hostos starting to spread the court out a little more. Patterson and Wilson getting involved there. A good trail there by Patterson, as Wilson was heavily guarded there on that layup. Luckily in the right position in the right time to give the ball back to Wilson for an easy layup there.
So with the time out on the floor, fans, it is a privilege to work closely with the Municipal Credit Union, our title sponsor for baseball and CUNY athletics. MCU is one of the oldest and largest credit unions in the country. CUNY students and faculty are all eligible to join MCU and experience the benefits and security of credit union membership. For more information, please visit the Municipal Credit Union's website, nymcu.org, and support the official credit union of CUNY athletics. Ralph Bednarchik alongside Nick Diamantis, Jillian Sakovitz on the sideline. Number 1 seed Hostos, the number 1 team in the Division III junior college level, has pushed the lead now to 3. At 21-2, their lone losses have come at the hands of Division I or Division II programs this season, and those are scholarship-level junior colleges. There is a distinction between Divisions I, II, and III, just like there is at the NCAA level. So that tells you Hostos, they have battle-tested themselves, and against this level of competition, no one has come close.
Absolutely, and I had the chance to talk to Coach Winston about those 2 matchups early in the season. He said that matchup against Lackawanna was instrumental in getting their team prepared for their Division III matchups later on this season.
Yep, early games against Lackawanna of Pennsylvania, ASA, also from Brooklyn, which is a Division II junior college team. They went up to Syracuse and defeated Onondaga, and Union County Community College, also New Jersey, with a victory. So those things set this Hostos team up for success. And this is an over and back call against Sheba Foster. And those are the kinds of turnovers that will bury you. For BMCC, that is already their 11th turnover of this opening quarter.
And in a game like this, you can't have unforced errors, especially off an inbound pass near the half-court line. Just both teams have to be a little smarter here, and they're going to have to shake off the rust here in the first quarter.
Blakeney tried the 3, and the rebound will be a tie-up. Good active hands there from Skadesia Patterson. And gets the ball back for Hostos as we're inside of 2 minutes to go in this opening quarter. This is the CUNY Athletic Conference Community College Women's Basketball Championship. The men's game will follow with the Kingsborough Wave taking on the BMCC Panthers. That's why BMCC on their home floor. They have a lot of fans in the house tonight, and that could lead to a lot of energy translating to the court.
Absolutely. There's about half a stand that we can't televise here at the cameras behind them. It's going to be packed to the gills here for this men's matchup later on tonight.
Patterson against the zone, missed the shot. Offensive rebound pulled out by Hostos. Then the pull-up jumper is knocked down by Regine Blakeney. Second bucket for Blakeney, a CUNY All-Star this season, averaging 10 points a game.
Blakeney not known for making jump shots like that, often dishing them to Ashley Smith or Patterson. She was wide open there for that shot, though. She had to take it.
Ortega leaving it for Myers on the line, drive 3. Hostos looking to run. Then the baseline runner, that doesn't go. Rebound ripped away by Foster, however, picked up by Hostos. And a fresh shot clock for the Caymans inside the final minute of the opening quarter.
And we've seen a little shift in momentum in the first 5 minutes of the quarter. BMCC is starting to be a little more aggressive. Hostos to close out this first quarter a little more on the aggressive side.
Monet Thomas missed the jumper, but it's still Hostos in the midst of an 8-0 run. Karina Ortega. Zhelakova chased off the arc and picks up a foul on the floor against Desiree Tolbert.
Ortega with another flashy pass there over behind her shoulder. Zhelakova, the target of the pass again. Seems like they know when those passes are going to be happening time and time again.
Patterson knocked it away. However, it's out of bounds. And it'll stay with BMCC. 20.9 to go.
It was a tough pass there by Ortega. Trying to get it onto the block there. It looked like Foster wanted the ball there on the block, but heavily contested there by Hostos.
Zhelakova has yet to get a clean look from three. The leading scorer for BMCC. Karina Ortega, Zhelakova chased off the arc there, and she's called for taking the extra step. So the 12th turnover by BMCC.
With 7 seconds left, BMCC was looking for a nice opportunity there to put some points, cut the lead to 2 or 3, but to no avail there.
Regine Blakely with 4. The feed through the middle of the zone to Wilson, and BMCC gets the defensive stop. 15-10, the #1 team in the bracket, in the region, and in the country. The Hostos Caymans leading BMCC by 5 on the Panthers' home floor. We're back with more from the CUNY Community College Basketball Championships presented by Army ROTC.
No one ever won a race because it was their turn. And guzzling the right sports drink never won all 3 sets. You can't talk your way through a tournament, and luck doesn't last. Real champions know that it takes more to do more, because wanting it just isn't good enough. You've got to be smarter, faster, tougher. After all, if championships were easy, everybody would have one. City University of New York Athletic Conference. Learn, play, succeed.
Hey CUNY fans, do you need sporting goods? Modell's has provided exceptional service for 125 years and offers a 10% discount to all CUNY students, faculty, and staff when you present your valid CUNY ID upon your purchase. Look for additional coupons in your program for the Team Weeks coupon. You gotta go to Moe's. It's 15-10, Hostos with the lead over BMCC as we start the second quarter from the Community College Women's Basketball Championship.
Early steal by Blanky there off the inbound pass.
And then Regine Blakely knocks down the jumper. That's a long-range 2. She led the PSAL in assists last year, and here's another turnover. And Hostos with their largest lead looking for more as Wilson was tied up and then fouled.
BMCC a little bit out of sorts here, to say the least. 2 turnovers already within 30 seconds of the second half, and Ben Newberg is clearly not happy with this team's performance at the start of this game.
And Sheba Foster just picked up her 3rd there, Nick, and that is she is a major component for her rebounding.
Yep, she's the energizer bunny for this team. She's all over the court for them on the offensive and defensive side.
Blakeney misses, and there's an offensive rebound for Hostos as Foster had to sit, and Nyasha Howard is going to the free throw line.
And the foul is going to be called on Ortega, and that's her 3rd of the game. So 2 very important players for Newberg's side here for BMCC, attaining 3 early fouls.
And a very frustrated Karina Ortega. trying to explain
Howard
her
is at the line. She'll shoot two.
her case to Sherry Zappala. It will be Nyasha Howard. Coach DeVerney Winston says she is our Draymond Green, who can do a little bit of everything. And prior to that miss was a 78% free throw shooter.
Entering the game for the Panthers, replacing Ortega.
She also had a career high in 20 points, 10 rebounds when she played Queensborough a couple weeks ago. So she could definitely light it up from the court here in this game.
BMCC brings in 5'11 sophomore Nia Watson to replace Ortega as Watson comes up with the rebound. So Hostos has already forced 14 turnovers as Marshall is able to break pressure. Zelakova, quick catch and three, way off, was rushed there, but Myers rebounds. Slipped the pass in, looking for Watson, and the loose ball recovered, but will have a timeout called by the Caymans.
And the timeout was called right before it could have been a travel call. It looks like Coach Newberg just got called with a technical foul there.
And Ben Newberg still very upset.
Timeout is called by
And a
the
timeout
Caymans.
is granted to the Caymans first as Ben Newberg here will try to organize. But as we see Coach Newberg, though, earning a bachelor's degree from SUNY Albany in 2010, most recently completed his MBA at Mercy College. But he came over here from CCNY, where he was an assistant coach under Jamie Angeli, who's done such a great job in the CCNY program at the four-year CUNY level. And then prior to that, Newberg was an assistant men's coach over at Mercy College under Nolan Adams. And that's who got him going, Nolan Adams, who was coached here in the CUNY Conference too.
Yep, Nolan Adams with a very impressive squad at York College. The Cardinals just missed the CUNYAC playoff bracket by one game, had to deal with a 2-game forfeit due to an ineligible player playing a couple of games. So York expecting to have a good season next year coming into the 2018 season.
Yep, Ben Newberg also had helping lead Sullivan Community College men's basketball team to a region championship as an assistant. As here's the technical fouls, or the free throws for Skydasia Patterson. So he fell in love with the game, got to travel with the team, playing Syracuse, North Carolina, as Patterson misses another free throw. So it stays at 17-10, and this is his passion, and I'm trying to build this BMCC program into a consistent level. So Hostos was granted the timeout after their latest steal. And they're still in the midst of a 10-0 run. Wilson, the skip pass, wide open look. Monet Thomas is short. There's Wilson, though, on the follow. She missed that one, and Foster will get a foul over the back against Hostos.
And that's a good rebound there. Mariam Toure, she's had to deal with Wilson and Patterson early on in this game, and finally Ben Newberg feels like he got a foul call to go his way.
As you see in front of you, the way the 2-2-1 pressure is set up by the Caymans. Marshall over the top to Watson, and we'll get it back to the freshman Ebony Marshall. However, Blakeney, though, comes up with, again, the steal, anticipating the pass. Howard pushed, and then Howard threw it away. Good recovery by Jessica Myers of BMCC to prevent a potential open layup.
And it's been a tough night for these ladies to control the dribble. You see the ball bouncing, and it's been wild for both teams. You see a lot of errant passes, a lot of dribbles getting higher than they want them to be. It's going to be a tough adjustment for these teams.
And another ball thrown away against the pressure. However, Hostos' lead is still just 7. Patterson, good feed inside to Wilson, in and out. Foster had the rebound. The follow-up missed by Wilson, and Foster eventually cleared.
And Toure with another big rebound there. Wilson had the opportunity to put in a second chance points there, and it looks like Ebony Marshall took a spill right by the table over there.
Wow, she ends up underneath the scorer's table as BMCC was able to get the timeout granted as we played 2 minutes and change of the second quarter, and Marshall is still shaken up. And she's been battling injury.
Looks like she's grabbing her right knee there. That's never a good sign when the players go to their knee first.
In the first game of the season, 1 minute in, freshman guard Ebony Marshall was hurt. She played one game, then came back January 27th, as she had come down another player's foot, and it was a fracture. Ben Newberg felt she was about a 95% health right now. And as they have a look and have great concern for Marshall, BMCC has already turned it over nearly 20 times, and the last thing that they can ill afford to have happen is losing another ball handler.
Yep, she's instrumental to their offense, sets the tempo, plays very fast on offense and defense, great handle, and unfortunately it was another errant dribble that caused her to lose control and take the spill by the table. And it looks like she's putting very little pressure on her right knee there.
Ebony Marshall attended the Business of Sport School on West 49th Street in the city, and initially attended Mohawk Valley Community College upstate before she reached out to Coach Ben Newberg, saying she was interested in playing closer to home. And they continue to go through the tests for the right knee of freshman Ebony Marshall.
And it's unfortunate there. No padding on either the front or the sides of those tables there, as that could have helped her out there and shake off that injury. And it's going to be a tough transition for Ben Newberg's squad here without Ebony Marshall, who's clearly one of their premier offensive players.
Yeah, Marshall was averaging about 5 points, 4.5 rebounds, but her ball handling against this Hostos pressure, albeit she was turning it over a bunch. But now who do you turn to? BMCC has already turned it over 17 times. Remember, in the first regular season meeting, Hostos turned them over 33 times. The second time, 25 in 2 lopsided wins.
Yep. And Nia Watson comes onto the floor to replace Marshall. A little more size to battle Kayla Wilson and Skydasia Patterson. Let's see if that does a difference on the blocks and rebounds.
Wilson picks up the blocking call. And that'll be team foul number 4 of the quarter already against BMCC.
Foul is charged number 22.
That foul goes against Nia Watson right after coming onto the court to replace Marshall.
And it was Watson. So the foul was non-shooting. Hostos only shooting 29%, 7 of 24. That's why the game is still very much in the balance. And this effective zone of BMCC. Good skip pass by Wilson, but the 3 is off by Ashley Smith. The follow, that's missed inside by Blakeney. And another foul. This one's going the other way against Hostos.
It's going to be an over-the-back call against Wilson there. And good box out there by Watson there, as her presence is going to help out BMCC grab more rebounds on the defensive side.
So now Nikola Zhilakova. They're trying to handle through pressure and is able to break it. Zhilakova. Layup went off. She's going to chase down her own miss. And it'll remain with BMCC.
Oh, there's an elbow there. And that's going to be a technical call there. And that's not a smart decision by Skydasia. Is clearly frustrated with Zhilakova in the corner as they were going for a jump ball.
Skydasia Patterson is a relentless rebounder, and she took some exception. The officials fortunately caught it, as both teams will now head over to their huddles as our officials will try to sort this one out. Andre Smith, Jorge Martinez with Sherry Zappola. BMCC has yet to score in the quarter.
And I have to wonder what they're actually discussing. Clearly they called a technical against Patterson for that elbow, but they're also going to distinguish if it was a jump ball, if either Zhalakova was out of bounds before Patterson's foot stepped out of bounds. Could be plenty of discussion there for those three refs. And it looks like they're about to make their decision.
And it appears a double technical foul has been assessed.
It's going to be called against Nia Watson on the Panther side. I wonder what Watson did there. It looks like she must have said something to Patterson after giving that elbow to Zhalakova, as it was clearly Zhalakova and Patterson initially involved in the skirmish.
Number 11 of the Caymans, Skydasia Patterson, that's her first. It's the team's third.
So Patterson, and for Watson, it's also the 15th foul against BMCC. So Hostos will have free throws the rest of the quarter.
And with 7 minutes to play in this half, BMCC definitely doesn't need that if they're going to want to cut into this deficit heading into the locker room, as Hostos has proven to be a very good free throw shooting team. Shot well against Queensborough on Tuesday. And Hostos will definitely utilize being in the bonus with the last 7 minutes of this half, as Wilson has shot plenty of free throws already in this game.
Ortega gets a clean look, long on the long jumper. Blakeney pushing. Regine Blakely, and a pass deflected by Ortega. And the game, it's pushed the ball so well. They're talking to DeVerney Winston about the offense. It has changed with the loss of Kashmir Fulcher, who was their starting point guard. She was their engine, but they've had to become an inside-outside type of team, as the three was missed by Blakeney, and BMCC is able to rebound.
It's a good rebound there by Ortega. She had three Hostos players on her, able to evade all three of them.
Ortega's left open and knocks down the three. Maybe that'll get the Panthers going. Despite all the turnovers, they're within 4.
And BMCC desperately needed points there. A three-pointer is more than enough to get back into this game. Still time left with 6:15 to go in this first half. And as it's been a low-scoring game to start, want to see both these teams spread the floor and put some points on the board.
Foster is called for the offensive foul, and that is number 4 on a pivotal defensive presence for BMCC.
And she's going to have to miss extended minutes here. She probably will not play any more in this second quarter, and probably miss the remainder of the third quarter as well, as Ben Newberg has been very critical of this officiating crew from the start, and it's not getting any better.
Skydasia Patterson returning for the Caymans.
So Foster did exit. Hostos, meanwhile, they've been held to just 1 bucket in the second quarter against the BMCC 2-3 zone. And a 3-second call against Hostos. Now it's Miasha Howard underneath.
A quick inbound pass for BMCC, trying to break this 2-2-1 press of Hostos.
Zhalakova able to get it to Ortega. Then the pull-up jumper, that's off from freshman Ayana Graham, but look at the hustle from Toure. We'll get the tie-up, and the arrow is going to keep it with BMCC.
An excellent hustle there by Toure.
Possession will be going to BMCC.
Saves BMCC another possession, get this game within 2 points with the basket here.
Ortega on the reverse, and she picks up a Hostos foul.
Smart move by Ortega. She got the quick pass back from Toure.
Foul is judged, number 32.
It's going to be shooting 2 here, try to cut the deficit within 2 with 5:28 left to play.
While we have a moment, let's check in again with Jillian Sakovitz on the sideline.
Yeah, guys, simply put, head coach DeVerney Watson from Hostos is not satisfied. Yeah, they've maintained a lead, but this is not the type of basketball he told me that he expects his team to come out here and play. I got a chance to listen to him during that last huddle, and he said, guys, not communicating, and at the end of the day, they are not excellent.
Entering the game for the Panthers is number 44, Amari Slayton.
In the first quarter and the second quarter. He did say ahead of this game that he was concerned about the home crowd keeping BMCC in it. And that seems to be what we're seeing here. They have a lot of passion. There's a lot of them. It's a great crowd. And those emotions, we've seen get the best of them a few times here today, guys.
Thank you, Jillian. And a main point I think that stood out to me from Deverny Winston, communication from his team as they operate against the BMCC zone. And they just had we saw another foul as Niasha Howard just picked up the foul on the offensive end. So both teams now over the limit with 5:04 to go before the half.
Yep, and this helps out BMCC. They've had tremendous struggle putting points up on the board throughout this first half. And they're going to need free throws to cut into this deficit. And at the moment, Jessica James missing her first, not utilizing their advantage there.
So Jessica Myers, third leading scorer for the Panthers, has started a bunch of games or been the sixth man and always wanted to go back to basketball. Following her service in the Army, she makes one of two. And BMCC is within two. A well-timed trap. Zhelakova will come up with the takeaway, but they'll call a tie-up. It'll remain with the Caymans.
We had one official call jump ball. We had another official call with a wrapping foul. Wonder will most likely be the foul call that will stand.
And they just communicated, and that is going to be free throws for BMCC.
Yep.
And it will be one of the best in the conference in Nikola Zhelakova. Zhelakova at 72%. Had a great conversation with her at the CUNY Awards luncheon. Her brother used to live in New York City. She came to visit him about a year ago and decided she wanted to come to school in the United States after she finished high school in the Czech Republic. And she's off of the first, and as you said, Nick, that after she traveled the world, dad is a soccer coach, brother is in one of the best clubs, soccer clubs in the UK right now. So she didn't pick up basketball until she was 13. And she gets the second. It's a 1-point Hostos lead, the number one team in the country. Has only scored 2 points so far in the second quarter. A team that averages 89 points a game. 10 to shoot for Hostos.
Yeah, with BMC cutting the lead to only 1 point for Hostos. Fans getting a little more involved, a little more chirpy in hopes of motivating the team to play some good defense.
Patterson with the shot clock expiring gets that to fall. Skadeja Patterson is able to get that to go against traffic. And the good defense that was played by Miriam Touré. Myers.
Incredible pressure there from Hostos.
And Myers missed her teammate underneath. Desiree Tolbert came up with the steal. Blakeney picks up the foul, and it will count. Just like that, Regine Blakeney, so quick, and Hostos brings the lead to 5.
And Blankley there on the double team to first the turnover. Breaking the press there, driving to the lane. Smart going to the basket, throwing it up the box, and getting fouled in the process. She'll shoot one, and quieting the fans here on the BMCC side as they'll try to increase their lead to 6 points.
Karina Ortega returning for BMCC, playing with 3 fouls. So Regine Blakeney already with 8.
It's a good rebound there by Torre. Good box out on Ashley Smith.
Patterson with another steal. She pushes ahead 2-on-1, then runs through Zhelakova. Offensive foul.
It's been an incredibly tough game for both teams, deciding on what to do with the basketball. A lot of mishandling the dribble, a lot of errant passes from both teams. We've seen a lot of turnovers early in this game.
Correction, entering the game is 22, Kayla Wilson.
BMCC was able to climb within one. Nikola Zhelakova, wild shot trying to scoop layup, and it was partially blocked. Ashley Smith, and then we'll curl back, a sophomore out of Lehman High School in the Bronx, known as Hostos' top defender. Back to the zone look. Shot clock already to 8, Monet Thomas. Kayla Wilson facing up, short on the shot, offensive rebound inside of the foul. Desiree Tolbert was able to sneak in there.
And BMCC had positioning there for the defensive rebound, but Tolbert able to find a way, find a little crease to get positioning, grab the rebound, put it back up, getting fouled from behind as Hostos can increase their lead heading into halftime.
One of the best stories you'll hear, Desiree Tolbert did not play any organized basketball. Showed up as a true walk-on. Would come in and ask when or tryouts. But not just that, she is a full-time nursing student that has a 3-year-old and is married. She somehow finds a way to put it all together as she misses the second. And the true definition of a student athlete and beyond.
Absolutely. And Ortega got away with the walk there. She had shuffled her feet looking for Zhelakova, but she hadn't crossed half court yet.
Myers from the baseline gets the friendly roll. Jessica Myers with 5, and BMCC continues to hang around.
And I think BMCC is going to have to turn to Myers, Jessica, a little bit more here. She's been a little bit quiet in this first half as it's been all Ortega and Zhelakova. Myers seems to be getting open a lot more than expected in this first half. See if she can get some points on the board and cut the deficit.
Meanwhile, Regine Blakeney's speed gets herself another pair of free throws.
It will be Torre for Watson, as they're going to have to platoon throughout the second and third quarter with foul trouble for Foster and not having Marshall in this game as well.
This pass deflected into the middle and stolen by Thomas, stolen right back by Ortega, and then a Hostos foul.
Yep.
So BMCC will have a chance to stop the game and avoid the pressure and earn some more points at the free throw line from Karina Ortega. But regardless, the Panthers have found a way to be in this game. Again, the closest game Hostos has played this season against a CUNY opponent was a 29-point differential in their victory January 27th against this Panthers team.
That doesn't look like it's going to be the case tonight. It's been a tough time for both teams to find any sort of rhythm and create offensive progression. It's going to be very tough throughout the game for either of these two teams, as it's been very physical.
Wilson with the good pass out of the double team, out to Blakeney. Another offensive rebound, this time the putback from Desiree Tolbert.
And Desiree Tolbert showing what she can do, not just on the scoring stat sheet, but also defensively, being in good rebounding positioning. They're in perfect position to get that rebound putback.
Zhelakova missing the layup. And can the Panthers make the Caymans pay for the pressure? Ashley Smith out of the corner, knocks down the long-range jumper. That'll be a long two.
She's going to have to be a little bit more aggressive in this game. She's one of the more experienced players for this Hostos team. She was on last year's championship team that beat BMCC by 13. She's going to have to get a little more involved.
Jessica Myers with a right-hand finish as the scoring picks up.
Scoring picking up, but still a 6-point game. BMCC not out of it at all, as it seems like any team could score at any moment, despite it being trouble for them throughout the contest.
Coming up on the final minute from the first half tonight from the CUNY Community College Basketball Championship. Kayla Wilson called for traveling.
That's a good defensive possession for the Panthers there, needing a stop to find their way back, cut the deficit to within 4 with 1 minute left to play, as they're going to need a scoring run to set the momentum. As I've said before, no rhythm for either team whatsoever.
Omari Slayton, a 5'4" sophomore guard from Staten Island, into the game for the first time for BMCC, and she turns it over. On the push ahead, Tolbert missed the layup, and Myers to clear. Zhalakova with under 40 seconds to go in the opening half. Zhalakova was triple teamed. Myers on the pass, and an offensive foul. Ayanna Graham steamrolled Regine Blakely.
And Hostos, as you can see, constant double team, constant pressure on the defensive side. No matter who's got the ball, it seems like there's 2 or 3 people on a Panther at all times.
Hostos can hold for the final shot of the opening half.
Good defense here from BMCC.
5 seconds to go. Wilson in the post. Fumbled it. Facing up, then missed the shot short. With Slayton rebounding, BMCC gets the stop to close out the first half. But a much different kind of game than we expected. The number 1 team in the country, Hostos, that averages 89 points a game. They've been held to just 28 here at the break. BMCC that's lost by essentially over 30 points 2 times already this season against the Caymans. They are in this game here at the half.
And within 6 points heading into the locker room, Ben Newberg's going to have to cut into. They're going to have to discuss what they're going to need to do on the offensive side to create any momentum coming into the third quarter.
Let's go over to Jillian now with Coach Winston.
Not satisfied with your team's first half. Where are they frustrating you there the most?
The defensive end. Actually, to tell you the truth, defensively and offensively, we're not doing what we're supposed to do. Defensively, we're just not rotating fast enough. We're not getting back fast enough. We're allowing a lot of penetration in the half-court set where we're just not rotating and closing it off. Offensively, we're just not putting the ball in the basket. 28 points in the first half is unlikely for us. We've never scored that low amount of points in the first half.
Ahead of this game, you said an area of concern was if the crowd would keep BMCC in it. How has that affected your team?
Well, the crowd is definitely keeping BMCC in it. It's not affecting our team at all. We do a lot of things in practice that simulate crowd activity, so we're way past that. Right now, it's just the emotion of the game, the frustration of the fact that we're not putting the ball in the basket, but that's something I definitely expect to turn around in the second half.
Second half, what adjustments can we expect to see?
Well, I definitely can tell you we're going to get out of our zone press to start. We're probably going to start with a man-to-man full-court press. Our pressure in the backcourt is definitely frustrating them, but we're just not getting enough turnovers. Like I said, we need to put more points on the board for us to be successful this game.
Coach, thanks for the time.
Not a problem.
Guys.
(28-22) is our score. Our thanks to Jill and Coach for the thoughts. Big number. Hostos shooting just 31%. BMCC shooting 35%. 24 turnovers by BMCC, though, but they are in the game trailing by 6. We'll take a timeout and come back to bring you some stats and thoughts ahead of our third quarter. It's the 2018 CUNY Community College Women's Basketball Championship game presented by Army ROTC.
No one ever won a race because it was their turn. And guzzling the right sports drink never won all 3 sets. You can't talk your way through a tournament, and luck doesn't last. Real champions know that it takes more to do more, because wanting it just isn't good enough. You've got to be smarter, faster, tougher. After all, if championships were easy, everybody would have one. City University of New York Athletic Conference. Learn, play, succeed.
best new sports web series is here. It's from Backpack Broadcasting, and it's called The Sports Walk. The Sports Walk is a series where diverse sports fans take a walk and share their views at the intersection of sports and society. The entire first season is now available on Backpack Broadcasting's YouTube channel and backpackbroadcasting.com. See what other sports fans have to say about a variety of issues in the world of sports. Watch all 13 episodes from season 1 and take the Sports Walk today.
Evans for three. Oh, how about that? And now the Dolphins break in as it's Wizakowski who drills it in. Trip, nice move, and finished. Nice pass, Core with the jam.
Yeah. Guides the ball up to the near post, and there to hit the ball into the goal is Mustafa Harani. And a slam by Sidney Wilson.
Hi, I'm John Starks.
What's going on? I'm Victor Cruz.
My name is David Diamante.
Hi, this is Larry Fitzgerald.
Hello, this is Spike Lee, and you're watching Backpack Broadcasting.
I've always loved storytelling, and I started out with short form storytelling and just doing what maybe you see in most traditional news reports, quick packages. different things of that nature. But I've always had a love for long form or news magazine storytelling or documentary style storytelling. That's always been a passion of mine. And when I started Backpack Broadcasting, I just created an opportunity and a platform for myself to do that. I've always been looking for a way to get into the world of long form storytelling, and I thought there was no better way than to start doing it myself, create my own opportunity and create the opportunity for others. And that's what we're doing here with Sideline Stories. I'm also very passionate about the stories that aren't being told, but it's common to do a report on a basketball game.
Coach, just 6 points separates you and Hostos here at halftime. That is the lowest that they've been held to within the conference this season. How satisfied are you with BMCC's first half performance?
The performance needs some work, but the defense is definitely there. A couple offensive rebounds we gave up that came to layups that I'm not too pleased about. But we're right here. It's a 6-point game against the #1 team in the nation, so can't be too mad, but I think we can do a lot better, and I'm ready for the second half. I think we can show it.
BMCC seems to be playing with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. They've also got the home crowd behind them. How much can they use that, and are they using that to their advantage?
Yeah, I mean, every year I say this when we're the 2, I love being an underdog, and I bring it out in them. Like, we got nothing to lose right now. So we lose the #1 team, we're supposed to. We beat them, it's all on us, and we did our part. So that's where we're at right now. Hopefully we get it done.
You know Hostos is going to make adjustments going into this second half. How have you prepared your team, and what did you tell them inside?
Well, I looked at the stats. We had 24 turnovers, which needs to be cut in half. We gave them 13 offensive rebounds, so we can cut both of them in half. We'll be fine. We're going to make some adjustments too, and we're going to get after it.
All right, Coach. We'll see you after the game. Thanks. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Jill. So some optimism, Nick, from Ben Newberg. But if you could chop down to 24 turnovers, the offensive rebounds, and still they're in this game shooting just 35%. BMCC could have some optimism going into the second half, and Hostos has not played a competitive game in a month.
At 11 of 36 from the field, they're going to have to expect more from Smith, a veteran leader on this Hostos Cayman squad. Skydasia Patterson with that technical foul there. She's going to have to get her head mentally back into this game as well. It can't all be about Kayla Wilson today. They're going to need a group effort if they're going to want to come away with their second straight CUNYAC title.
Leading scorers of the break for Hostos, Regine Blakeney. The point guard has 10 points and 4 steals on 4 of 10 shooting, but her pressure has been a big difference maker. 7 points from Kayla Wilson on 2 of 8 from the floor and 4 rebounds, the CUNY Player of the Year. And for BMCC, 10 points for Karina Ortega, including knocking down a 3 on 3 of 4, and 5 points from Nikola Zhilakova. She has 5 on just 1 of 7, so those are the 2 main weapons for BMCC that'll need to get going in the second half.
Absolutely, and expect more from Zhilakova and Myers in this second half. They're going to have to play much better defensively on the blocks, guarding Wilson and Patterson of Hostos, and also just control the tempo, limit the turnovers, and create some offensive tempo. It's going to be very, very hard for BMCC to do it without their point guard, Ebony Marshall. Sorry about that. And with 4 fouls on Sheba Foster, it's going to be extremely, extremely tough for BMCC to get their mainstay of players on the court and get back into this ballgame.
Hostos will have it to open up the third quarter. So the Caymans, as you heard from Coach DeVerney Winston, is the fewest points they've scored in a half all season by far. Just the 28, including a 13-point second quarter. And BMCC remains in the 2-3 zone that they've been in throughout the night. Good opening possession and a good start for Kayla Wilson, muscling one up and in.
And that's what Wilson will do for this Hostos Cayman team time and time again. They're going to have to feed her that ball whenever she can, whenever she's open.
Zhilakova got it to the corner for Sheba Foster. She starts this third quarter playing with 4 fouls.
And she's going to have to be extremely careful here. They're going to need her to be in the game.
Good look by Myers, but she hit Touré somewhere in the shoulder. And up ahead, Blakeney. It'll result in an easy 2. Make that an and 1 for Hostos. Nyasha Howard. And a costly turnover by the Panthers.
A costly turnover and an ill-advised foul there. She had an easy layup, no need to push her from behind, as it's just putting more points on the board for Hostos potentially.
Nyasha Howard out of Central Park East High School usually defends the best player in the other team. With a 3.0 GPA, won a PSAL championship with Central Park East 2 years ago. She converts the three-point play, and the lead now the largest of the night for Hostos at 11. As Myers then lost it. Another turnover. Now the push ahead, Ashley Smith may have carried it. Wilson, good up and under, and thought she might have been fouled.
And Myers there for the rebound. She's going to have to get the ball on the offensive side there.
It'll go for an and one for Jessica Myers.
And that's exactly what BMCC is going to have to do. She's constantly open, as we mentioned during halftime. She's going to have the ball in her hands more and have an impact for this Panthers team heading into the second half of this game.
So Myers with 9 and going to the free throw line. Told a story about Jessica. Her job in the military was working in the transportation department, logistics of helicopters, gun truck missions, pretty much coming from a military family before moving here to New York from Tennessee from Staten Island, and to pursue a degree following high school. She chose BMCC and thought about playing basketball. As on the hard drive, there's Ashley Smith earning a trip to the line for Hostos.
And Ashley Smith utilizing the space there to drive to the basket. She's going to have to use her experience and her IQ on the basketball court to increase this lead for this Hostos Cayman squad.
Ashley Smith averages over 7 points a game, but a very good shooter, 40% from the field, 29% from three as she makes this first one. And Hostos back to a double-digit lead at 35-25.
Wilson, number 22, re-entering the game for the Caymans.
There's some confusion here on the court.
Our officials are over at the table checking something, perhaps about
maybe an issue with the score. Perhaps it could be 36-25.
I thought perhaps time could have come off the clock, but in any event, it is, everything looks clear.
Yep. Remains the same.
As Andre Smith goes back to his spot. So is Yolakova trying to break pressure, and she picks up a bump from Blakeney. And that's team foul number 2 against Hostos.
BMCC will get back into this game if they can create fouls against Hostos. They're going to need to get onto the foul line more often.
BMCC shot 7 of 10 at the line in the opening half. And while Hostos, they had a chance to create some more separation, just 6 of 16 at the brink. And Zholakova was hoping to get bailed out. Block shot by Wilson. And it'll stay with BMCC despite the relentless hustle from Skydasia Patterson to try to save that ball.
Yep. And Zholakova had the chance to drive to the basket there, relenting with the jump shot, then it will go well for her.
Zholakova into a mid-range 2, short. And she'll need to knock that shot down. And she struggled to a 1 of 8 tonight. And another issue perhaps with the clock as Jorge Martinez came over to the scorer's table. I think the shot clock did not begin. Patterson, she fumbled it, was able to recover. It is a 10-point Hostos lead, the number 1 team in the country for the first time in program history. They've been ranked number 1 since the middle of December. A program that has captured 5 tournament championships and trying to go back-to-back. The 3 is off. Offensive rebound. Patterson kept it alive. There's Desiree Tolbert on another follow.
And Desiree Tolbert seems to always be in the right position for rebounds.
Tolbert with 5. Ortega straight on. And clearing the glass, Skydasia Patterson. BMCC just 1 of 4 from 3. We wondered, Nick, could the Panthers, in order to pull off this upset, they're a capable outside shooting team, 34% from 3, led by Zhelakova. But Myers has the ability to hit some long-range jumpers, and of course Ortega. This is Blakeney for 3. Regine Blakeney. Hostos has pushed the lead to 15, largest of the night. A fast start to the third quarter for the number 1 Caymans.
And Ben Newberg's squad in disarray from this start of the third quarter. Hostos, last couple possessions, getting to the paint, creating space. An easy 3 there for Blakeney, and they're starting to open up this game.
Tonight's CUNY Community College Championship is also brought to you by the Hospital for Special Surgery, where the world comes to get back in the game. The hospital is ranked number 1 in the country for orthopedics by U.S. News and World Report. And no wonder Hospital for Special Surgery is the official hospital of the CUNY Act. For more information, visit hss.edu. Touchdown Jessica Myers, who has spent a stint in the military in places like Afghanistan. She was a member of the All-Army basketball program and played in armed forces tournaments. We do want to shout out Mr. Joe Trabuzio Jr., who's a petty officer, 3rd class. He and his pals are watching our stream tonight on Facebook Live from the USS Ronald Reagan. Joe T., your dad, Joe Sr., says hello. We hope you're enjoying this one tonight wherever you are, and we hope that you are safe. And we thank you for you and your pals' service.
Absolutely.
Hostos 40-25 as they've expanded their lead after a struggle in the first half.
Hostos backing off at their pressure, looking for a half-court press.
And Zhelakova dribbled it out of bounds. That time it wasn't as aggressive of a press, but she took it out, and another turnover for BMCC.
And it's good to see Ebony Marshall flexing that knee by her bench, as she's going to try and do whatever it takes to get back into this game.
Wilson again got great position and scores underneath. Tough move from Kayla Wilson. And when she gets that deep, it's over. She has 11, and another turnover by the Panthers.
And it doesn't look like Newberg's timeout for BMCC helped much in creating a way to get past this Hostos press, as the pressure continues for Hostos and the turnovers continue for the Panthers.
That was turnover number 26. Patterson with a lane opening up, and they'll get the blocking call against Miriam Touré.
It's a tough call against Touré, but it looked like she was inside the restricted area, which is the only reason I think the call went against BMCC. Patterson finally getting to the free throw line here, she can make a difference.
So Skydasia Patterson also has a very long commute up to Hostos. She actually attended high school at Bishop Laughlin in Brooklyn. 90 minutes each way on the train, waking up at 6 a.m. to get there from the Bronx. A little bit easier now for when she lives in the Bronx to get to Hostos, but she wanted to go there for the quality of education and the basketball program. Played with several Division I, Division II players. Another takeaway, Blakeney, who's second in the country in steals. She charges forward, misses the layup, but there's Wilson to clean it up.
Yep, and Kayla Wilson, clearly the tallest player on the court here, using her length to get every offensive board that she can get.
Hostos has pushed the lead now to 21 off the latest turnover, as BMCC has not been able to solve the pressure at all. And as Ben Newberg told Jill at the half, if we could just have our turnovers from 24 to 12 in the second half, we would have a chance. But they're way beyond that pace.
And there's been no answer from this Panthers squad here. Even with Hostos backing off their pressure from full court to half court, the guard play from Hostos has been nothing but tenacious, and it's been the difference maker in this afternoon ballgame.
So BMCC, to talk about it, it's a program that has captured 7 championships in CUNY, the last time in 2013, and they also won the first 6 that took place in community college women's basketball from 1998 to 2003 under a legendary coach for the area, Rodney Carr, who later won 2 titles in 06 and 07 at Hostos. But talking to Ben Newberg, they're proud that they put a player into Division II ranks last year, Natalia Dubrovina, who's now playing at Division II District of Columbia, playing in the East Coast Conference after a very good freshman year last year. So she used it as a stepping stone, and that's what this is about. That's what tonight is about for these players, to get their grades up, basketball experience, get some exposure, and jump to a 4-year school.
Absolutely. They could have used her tonight with her shooting ability.
Another steal after the Patterson knockaway. And then that, I don't know if that was a pass intended or not off the backboard by Tolbert, but we get a whistle. Tolbert appeared like she wanted to take off for the finger roll, and it left that a little short. So BMCC will try again, and this time as the pressure comes out. And Zhulakova, she's able to draw some contact on her path to the basket.
Yep, BMCC finally getting to the free throw line for the first time this half. Going to have to scratch and claw from this point on if they're going to want to make any kind of effort getting back into this ballgame.
So Zhulakova touched on the story. She picked up basketball for the first time at the age of 13. And she told me yesterday the first time she went to a basketball practice, she brought her gymnastic shoes. That and soccer were her first sports. And here she is less than a decade later, pursuing a college basketball dream in the United States. She gets the second. And Hostos able to break the BMCC pressure quickly.
Coach Winston trying to slow things down for this Hostos Caymans team. They do have a 20-point lead, so taking it easy could prove to be a good decision here.
Kayla Wilson able to find the extra pass out to Tolbert. Good ball movement to Blakeney, but they don't get the shot off. Our first shot clock violation of the night.
So slowing it down there, couldn't get Hostos in clean opportunity for a jump shot there, as we see the first shot clock violation of tonight's contest.
Tolbert read the passing lane, and she's able to get the ball out to her teammate in Monet Thomas. And then Thomas, though, had to knock down to stay with Hostos. Again, Desiree Tolbert, a remarkable story for a full-time nursing student. She's going to work tonight after the game, works full-time, married with a 3-year-old daughter, and then forcing turnovers in a college basketball game.
And she's everywhere, whether it's creating a turnover off a steal or getting the right rebound for her team. She's been incredible tonight for this Caymans squad.
Good hands by Karina Ortega to pick up the steal for BMCC. Zhulakova. 4:20 to go, third quarter. A good extra pass, Ortega. Offensive rebound, Watson. She missed the follow. And they'll keep the ball here with BMCC, the foul on the floor. And it'll be against
Looks like it's going to be Kayla Wilson on the over the back. Watson had good position for the rebound there off of the Ortega 3 miss.
Zhulakova missed that shot, and Wilson cleared. So Nikola Zhulakova, 1 of 10 tonight.
It's been a tough night for her, as she's had to deal with the constant pressure from these Hostos guards on the offensive side.
And she is BMCC's leading scorer. Wilson overthrew the skip pass intended for Monet Thomas out of bounds. And BMCC will gather, but they're being held to just 4 points in this third quarter by Coach Daverney Winston's team. Ortega is smothered and trapped, and more good hustle by the Caymans. And it's going to be staying with BMCC.
And great effort from both squads there. Ortega on the floor for BMCC, able to have the ball back with the Panthers side, and it's
and a technical foul charged against the Hostos bench.
I was wondering what the whole commotion was from the referees here, and surprised to see Coach Daverney Winston call for a technical foul here.
And Daverney instantly out of his seat. You don't normally see him react like that.
Absolutely not.
So Karina Ortega making the first of the technicals. As we talk to Daverney pregame and this week, when you have a 16-game winning streak, you're 21-2. They've played very few competitive games. What if, and eventually, should they go where they want to into the national tournament, they will face a stiff test or play a competitive game. How will he react was a real concern of his.
Absolutely. It could either help you or hurt you going into postseason. And right now, playing the quality of team right here tonight, this hasn't been the best game for either team.
Good ball movement by the Panthers, but Sheba Foster missed the lay-in. And then they're going to get Blakeney for a travel.
So we'll see what this can do after this contest is over for Hostos. They're going to be playing some stiff competition, and you wonder if they can bring a lot more to the table when they play tough competition.
The winner of this one advances on to the Region 15 tournament. Good cut by Myers, could not convert. Had her own miss for a second, but then lost it out of bounds.
It's been that kind of night for BMCC, trying to do whatever they can to put points up on the board. It just hasn't been easy for them all night.
They had a 10-7 lead late in the opening quarter before Hostos put together a 10-0 run. But Hostos couldn't pull away. We were at 28-22 at the half. Blakeney. Wilson able to pick up the loose ball. Then Wilson collects, missed the layup. And we'll get a foul on the floor against BMCC.
Looks like it's going to be called on James there. And that was a smart foul. It looked like Hosto had an easy opportunity for a putback layup. And James sacrificing herself with that foul there. And so it will be Hostos ball underneath the basket.
Hostos works a beautiful baseline out of bounds. Nyasha Howard able to find a wide open Desiree Tolbert.
And great patience there from Howard, waiting for that cut from Tolbert as she was wide open getting that pass.
Offensive rebound, there's a putback for Sheba Foster.
And BMCC just got to take it one possession at a time here, just try to put up whatever points they can throughout the rest of the night.
2 minutes to go in the third. Blakeney, her runner won't go. However, she digs out the miss. And there'll be a BMCC foul.
That was a late whistle there. Initially, it looked like she was going to call out of bounds against Hostos, but the foul's going to go against Nia Watson for BMCC. And looking at Coach Newberg, he's been dissatisfied the entire night with the officiating crew.
Regine Blakeney will shoot the pair. She leads all scores tonight with 13 points. She's added 4 more steals. A player that led the PSAL, that's the New York City League, in assists last year, but she's had a tradition transition, as Coach DeVerney Winston has said that she's gone from being a playmaker for others. Now she's unleashing the beast, as she said, and has a super high IQ of knowing where the opponent will pass the ball.
And as a freshman, you have to wonder what kind of season she could have next year, as it looks like she's going to be the catalyst for this Hostos Cayman squad.
She made 1 of 2. Ortega off the screen, dumped it into Teray, and then we'll get the foul off of another turnover.
Good hustle there from Kayla Wilson, forcing the turnover. It looks like they're going to be in the bonus with 1:36 left to play in the third quarter.
And that's the 5th and final foul against Sheba Foster.
Watson will re-enter the game. Wilson will go to the line.
Oh, check that out. It was against Miriam Touré. That just picked up her 5th. So Kayla Wilson with her latest trip to the free throw line is able to make the first. She has 15 points. The lead back to 21 for Hostos. BMCC has already had a player foul out and then had a player leave with injury, Ebony Marshall. And now they turn it over again. Blakeney, good look ahead, and there is Howard, and 1.
And after that make from Howard, it looks like Ortega staying down near her bench with a shoulder injury there, as she's trying to walk it off. But excellent transition offense from Hostos. Howard in the right position for the pass, and an easy layup and the foul.
Niasha Howard able to get that to fall. What a look by Blakeney, and this is what this Hostos team has been all about this season. They were very excited about the players they had back because of that national tournament experience a year ago when they went 31-4. As a free throw won't go, and despite losing 3 players from the first semester and having a total of 5 players leave the program, as Jessica Myers drills the jumper, she has 12, that they have really not skipped a beat. Maybe their points per game is a little bit down. It's at 89. It was in the mid-90s for a long time. And a lot of credit goes to these Caymans players that they have not allowed those defections to bother them in any way.
Absolutely. Hostos' defense has been creating their offense for the most part tonight, creating a ton of turnovers at the moment. It's been very tough for BMCC to create any momentum, any rhythm in this game. And that's all due to the pressure by Winston's squad here from the beginning of each possession.
So all of that set them up for success, and we're talking about terrific players. The talented Kashmir Fulcher, who was last year's CUNY Rookie of the Year and the tournament MVP. She was averaging 19 points a game, shooting 64%. So it's a main cog at the point guard position that DeVerney Winston has had to replace. But that hasn't at least shown itself to hurt them yet.
Absolutely. Blakeney's having a very good game tonight. Ashley Smith has been consistent, being smart on the floor, not making any crucial mistakes with the ball in her hands. At the moment, Hostos not playing nearly as good as the games they're used to, but they're still putting the pressure on, doing well defensively.
Final minute of play in the third quarter.
Ashley Smith got the double screen, and she picks up a foul, blocking foul, and this will mean more free throws for Hostos.
Foul is charged to
The Caymans just,
10, Anna Graham, that's her
at
third.
last check, were 9 of 19 at the free throw line.
Ashley Smith
And
will go to
Ashley
the line.
Smith going back to the line. To touch more about the Caymans and everything that they've achieved this year, they've even lost one of their players just before this game, Charlene Peralta, who is a valuable 5'8" sophomore guard who would be in their rotation She just went down for with an ankle injury. Might even be something more serious like a foot injury. So Hostos could be stuck with just 7 players the rest of the season as they pursue this national championship, as Karina Ortega gets the roll and knocks down the long-range 2.
Yep. And that's been one of the easier baskets BMCC's had in this quarter.
Regine Blakeney, this one rimmed out. Offensive rebound. Wilson missed the first. Wilson scrapping forward again, and a pile of bodies, 3 on each side, eventually rolled over. That looked like a dog pile after you win the World Series.
Absolutely. This game to me has looked more of a football game than it has a basketball game. See a lot of passes being deflected left and right. And we knew coming into this game these are going to be 2 physical teams playing with high intensity from the start. We haven't seen a lack of that tonight.
Final 10 seconds of the third quarter. A quarter in which Hostos has blown it open. Zhilakova finally knocks down a long-range leaner. 54-36, Hostos, the #1 team in the country. They outscore BMCC in the quarter 25-10. We're coming back with fourth quarter action. You're watching the 2018 CUNY Community College Basketball Championships presented by Army ROTC.
No one ever won a race because it was their turn. And guzzling the right sports drink never won all 3 sets. You can't talk your way through a tournament, and luck doesn't last. Real champions know that it takes more to do more, because wanting it just isn't good enough. You've got to be smarter, faster, tougher. After all, if championships were easy, everybody would have one. City University of New York Athletic Conference. Learn, play, succeed.
Community College ranks as one of America's top 4 community colleges because Kingsborough students have a high rate of success completing their degrees. They learn in over 50 programs enriched by honors courses and opportunities.
Tonight's game is being brought to you by the U.S. Army. There is no greater place to start towards a strong future than U.S. Army ROTC. For more information, see our ad in the program and through CUNYathletics.com. A foul on the floor as we begin the fourth quarter. And Jessica Myers, the guilty party, with Kayla Wilson going back to the free throw line. Wilson, Nick, is shooting her 10th and 11th free throws of the game. She's got 15 points and 8 rebounds.
She did a good job getting to the free throw line earlier in this game. She had 6 attempts in the first quarter. Surprised to not see her at the free throw line more often, to say the least, for this Hostos team, as she's been the tallest person on the court throughout the entire game.
Short on the second. And Hostos has done this tonight, despite just knocking down 1 3. Good pass inside to Myers from Ortega, and Ortega is fouled.
And Myers, a nice cut into the paint, getting a good dish from Ortega there. She's been getting open constantly for this BMCC Panther squad. She's going to be shooting 2 free throws for the Panthers.
Myers is among the few BMCC players that's had a solid night. Making now 13 points on 5 of 8 shooting, but up and down the column, that is now 33 turnovers by BMCC. And the remarkable thing is they had turned it over 33 times the first game of the year against the full roster that Hostos had. Curbed it down to 25 the second meeting, which gave them a lot of optimism tonight. As that'll be a Hostos turnover, slipping right through the hands of Ashley Smith. So BMCC to push it the other way. And now we'll get a whistle for a clock issue. So the Panthers thought they could at least curb that turnover number down, but still at 33, that is the number that jumps at you. They've almost turned it over more than they've scored.
Absolutely, and it started right from the get-go from both teams. We had 2 early turnovers from Hostos, and we had 3 or 4 from BMCC, and that kind of set the tone for this game. And in the first quarter, we thought, okay, some early nerves, some jitters, but it's been the story of this game throughout, from start to finish.
Zhelakova, and that's another one, number 34, following the travel. And the Caymans, they've done this to everybody. As I touched on in the opening of our broadcast, the opening minutes, against CUNY competition, they averaged forcing 38 turnovers. Against their entire schedule, their season numbers, they're forcing 31. And that includes a couple of losses, so they've done it to teams that have beaten them to still force that many turnovers. Smith, and wave it off, a foul on the floor.
No basket.
And the other thing that has made the Caymans such an impenetrable force, particularly in the region, they are plus 34 on the glass on average this year. That is a remarkable differential in rebounding.
Surprising, it's been pretty even. Coming into the fourth quarter, it was 30 to Hostos, 29 for BMCC.
But there's an example. There's a rebound and a putback for Kayla Wilson. And Wilson's gotten stronger as this game has gone on, and she just picked up the blocking foul on the other end. And that'll be her third.
You have to applaud the effort from Kayla Wilson trying to set the charge. Although she was leaning into the contact there by Zhelakova, she's going to be shooting 2 here. Wilson, and I know Coach Winston is very, very adamant on team defense throughout the game, trying to do things defensively for this Hostos team.
So Zhelakova up to 9 points. But they needed a big night from her, averaging over 16 a game. She had a career-high 30 on 5 of 10 from 3 in a win back in November at Queensborough. She gets to double figures now, making both. Patterson on recovery, but Hostos using the huge third quarter to create some separation from BMCC tonight as the Caymans look to go back-to-back in the CUNY and go back to the national tournament this year in Rockford, Illinois, as Blakeney turned it over. That's what's been put in their schedule. All these young ladies know it. What a pass there by Zhelakova. She's able to find Jessica Myers through traffic.
And that's an excellent dish there from Zhelakova. Jessica Myers in the perfect position for that pass once again. And BMCC, if they can get a couple more baskets in a row here and get some stops, the game is not over yet with only 8 minutes left to play.
Lead's been cut to 15. Now Myers with the steal. Myers able to recover that bouncing ball and then picks up the whistle.
Wild transition there from Myers there. Again, another player losing control of the dribble, but maintained her composure, knew she had players on her. Smartly going up for the shot and getting fouled in the process.
So Myers will shoot a pair. Let's go back to the sideline to Jillian.
Coach Watson told me that finally they were able to control the tempo of this game. On defense, we saw them go man-to-man full court, so they changed it up here in the second half. We knew they were going to make some adjustments. Then on offense, they slowed down the tempo of this game, and they pushed the ball inside. They infiltrated, and that we saw with BMCC. They struggled with that, and Hostos was able to draw the fouls that they wanted to. I asked Watson, now for the fourth quarter, and he just said patience. So that's how they've been able to run away with this. Guys, we'll hear more from him and everybody else after the game.
Thank you, Jillian. And the thoughts from DeVerney Winston as the free throws made by Jessica Myers. Well, they have slowed it down, but BMCC has found a way to climb within 14 with a timeout called by the Caymans. So this one is not over yet.
And BMCC, still some time left. It's a 14-point game. Doing a better job defensively, starting to create from their defense. And Jessica Myers As I've been saying before, she's been the most effective player for BMCC, the most efficient for this Panthers squad. She's going to have to be a leader and be the vocal presence that she's so used to being for this Panther team. And they're going to have to close out this game very strong. Forget about what happened in the first 3 quarters and just have the mentality of still in this ball game, even down 14. Plenty of time left. Let's get to the foul line and do what we can do.
Tonight's championships are also being brought to you by Pepsi. Pepsi is the official soft drink of the CUNY Athletic Conference. Still to come tonight, you can watch our Facebook live stream continuing with the Community College Men's Championship game. The interesting one, BMCC, the Panthers men are 20-6, 8-0 in the CUNY. They're the 1 seed. They will take on the Kingsborough Wave, the 3 seed, who have won 5 of 6, including an upset over 2-seeded Hostos. The Kingsborough men, they're just 10-14 overall, but they played their best basketball of the season. It's the size of Kingsborough versus the great three-point shooting of BMCC. That game should be tipping off tonight at 8:30 Eastern on Facebook Live.
And the Panthers squad coming back onto the court, their usual starting 5. It looks like Hostos will have the same 5 on the court as well. Skydasia Patterson taking her time there. It looks like she's going to take a seat for the Caymans, as it looks like Ashley Smith is going to be on the court for the remainder of this 4th quarter.
BMCC, just the look of renewed energy as we come to the timeout. Desiree Tolbert. Smith off the pump fake, has 10 to shoot. 7.5 to go in the 4th, and the pass by Blakeney, she thought she had a cutter, and that's another Hostos giveaway.
And what started that defensive pressure was a triple team on Wilson in the block there. It created havoc for Hostos and another turnover.
Now in the middle of the zone, Jessica Myers picks up the reach-in foul, and that'll be team foul number 4 on the Caymans.
And that's what the Panthers have to do. They're going to have to draw fouls on offense. They're going to have to slow the game down and take what they can get.
Quick inbound, and Zhelakova missed the chippy inside. Big miss there. On the push ahead, Blakeney got the defender up in the air, missed that though. Ortega, though, had the rebound ripped away by Tolbert. Wilson then into the lane. It'll count and 1. Big sequence on both ends with the player of the year, Kayla Wilson, finishing.
And we mentioned the big miss on Zhelakova. They needed that basket. And Wilson, again, right place at the right time, getting that offensive rebound, putting it in, and getting fouled in the process for Hostos.
Kayla Wilson up to 20.
And that was an excellent effort from Desiree Tolbert to get that offensive rebound there. And
Wilson made the free throw. It appeared that the basket counted. I think the BMCC players did not think it did, but it was an and 1. So it's 60-43. Big swing, though, because BMCC could have cut it down on that potential layup inside from Zhelakova.
And you never want a 5-point swing at any time in the game. And to have it happen with 7 minutes left, that's going to be a huge catastrophic turning point for the Panthers.
Zhelakova tries the 3. Wilson up ahead. Nyasha Howard running the floor is Tolbert. What a night for Desiree Tolbert. She is just 1 point off of her career high that was set in the semifinal against Queensborough. And now the Caymans force the travel.
And Desiree Tolbert has been an instrumental part of this Caymans team tonight, being a factor both on the offensive and the defensive side, as she has yet to make a mistake for this Caymans team all night.
Her presence on the floor, she shot 4 of 8, 5 rebounds. As DeVerney Winston described, Tolbert came to us as someone that barely knew how to dribble or shoot. She had very limited pickup basketball experience, and here she is having 11 points and looking like she completely fits in.
Oh, absolutely, and it's all about her being in the right place, being alert at all times, making the smart decisions, and that's the perfect player for DeVerney Winston's squad. Smart basketball IQ, knowing what to do with the basketball at all times. That's the big reason why this Hostos Cayman team is as successful as it is.
Right-handed scoop layup goes for Foster. Her second field goal. Blakeney, with no hesitation, puts up a rainbow shot in the lane.
An incredible offensive move there by Blakeney, splitting two defenders and floating it in.
With the lane opening up for Ortega. She gets the two right back. 14 points for Karina Ortega. Can BMCC put together one more run? Wilson. That is short.
BMCC slowing things down.
Ortega got the step, puts it off the glass. Offensive foul. That's drawn inside by Ashley Smith.
And the veteran, experienced player in Ashley Smith, knowing when to take a charge at the right time, as that eliminated 2 points for BMCC, and they needed those 2 points there.
Ortega picking up her fourth.
And obviously that's a big fourth foul for Ortega. Coach Ben Newberg has no choice but to leave her in this ball game, as they've been very limited with players throughout this contest.
We've hit the midway point of the fourth quarter. Number one, Hostos, looking to realize their dreams to pursue a national championship, as Regine Blakeney has had a wonderful night. She has 18.
She's doing exactly what she did the previous possession there, splitting two defenders up in the top of the key and putting in the floater.
Ortega is able to corral the ball in the corner, and a timeout called by BMCC and Coach Ben Newberg. So the Caymans have pushed the lead back up now to 19 points as the Panthers continue to fight, as Ben Newberg has talked about setting a culture up to move this team forward. Feeling defensively, when we're locked in, we're really hard to beat. They had a couple of losses in the road, a 2-point loss at Bergen Community College back in December the 7th. He thought that we played as bad as possible, but we sat in the locker room for an hour after the game, and we've played a lot more spirited since. We've played with just a lot more fun, smiles on the court, and intensity since that game. They took a lot from a loss that has pushed them here into the CUNY championship tonight at 17-4.
And they're going to take a lot from this game as well. They know that they cannot have the turnovers that they've had today going into the tournament as well. So a lot to take from on both sides of the court for this Hostos team.
Patterson forces another turnover. Good active hands from Skydanger Patterson. Symbolic of what this Hostos team has done all season. Blakeney, another pull-up, and a late closeout by Myers in the foul.
And Blakeney doing whatever she could. Every possession, every time she gets the ball, she's trying to create from something from nothing. And getting to the free throw line again, as she's been by far Hostos' most consistent offensive player throughout the game.
And Blakeney, a big reason why BMCC has turned it over 35 times. And Blakeney has collected, the stats only have her for 4 steals, but she is so involved in the entire defensive process.
She's definitely had a lot to do with others getting those turnovers instead of her.
She misses a pair, but the mountain for BMCC is 19 points on their home floor. Jessica Myers forced that up, and Blakeney on the push. Good pass up ahead. Howard gets the easy 2.
And it looks like at this point it's going to be a little bit too much for BMCC to overcome. That's another turnover.
The lead is 21. Regine Blakeney with another terrific pass to spark a fast break, and the Caymans are on their way with 3:54 to go. This one has not played out in terms of the tempo or the style that the Caymans, I think, would have liked, as we heard from DeVerney Winston at the half with Jillian. But they made some adjustments, and I think they perhaps refocused too compared to the 28-point opening half, a season low.
Absolutely, and Coach DeVerney Winston is as close to a perfectionist as you could be when it comes to results on the floor. And obviously they're going to want a better performance going into the Region 15 tournament. But nothing you could say bad about this Hostos team tonight.
Blakeney with the shot clock to 8. Into Patterson, who changes her shot and still converts. Skydacia Patterson with a nice move. 70-47, Hostos in control.
You would have expected Patterson to be more effective from the offensive side today, doing what she normally does in that last possession.
Another knockaway and near steal by Skydacia Patterson. So the Caymans about to take a 17-game winning streak with them into the Region 15 tournament. And based on the projected competition, they're teams that should not necessarily bother them, as they haven't all season, as we have a travel inside against Casey Ferentz for BMCC. Freshman forward out of Queens, New York, and graduated of the Manhattan Comprehensive Day and Night High School. But the 70 points may end up being a season low for the Caymans.
Season low, but it's got to be very close to a season high in turnovers forced.
Tolbert, and got into the heart of that zone, picking up a foul.
Again, Tolbert finding her way in the middle of some space between 4 players and doing what she's been doing all game, creating havoc for this Panthers defense.
Into the game is number 4, Jacqueline.
It was the 5th and final foul on Jessica Myers
Tolbert is at the line, so shoot 2.
of BMCC, the 3rd player for BMCC to foul out tonight. So here's Desiree, as she has 12 points and even looks good on the free throws, but just the way DeVerney Winston spoke about this young lady, he was inspired by it, about how quickly you can teach a player basketball if they work for it. She misses the free throw, though, so she'll have to try again to set a new career high. But she's there at 12. 3 different Caymans are in double figures. Another takeaway. Patterson up ahead. Nyasha Howard misses the lefty lane. However, she gets it back, and there's Patterson in the right place at the right time.
And even with that miss from Howard, there's still 2 other Hostos Caymans trailing and following the play there. So excellent IQ from those 2 players from Hostos in following the play, even though it looked like it was going to be an easy layup.
Patterson becomes the 4th Cayman in double figures with 10. Final 2 minutes before a coronation. And there's a foul as Jacqueline Villarreal, a 5'5" freshman guard from Houston, will be going to the free throw line for BMCC.
It's excellent to see Desiree Tolbert have the game that she's had. She's deserved nothing but praise for all that she does on the outside of her performance on the basketball court for Coach Winston and the Hostos Cayman.
Yeah, it's just remarkable, and DeVerney Winston praises his assistant coaches who have put in all the work behind the scenes for Tolbert, and they feel like she can play for any team in the region now. And she's proved that tonight with 12 points. And the pass up top, stolen away. Foster to take it in. Righty layup misses. And the foul as Myers, who remains on the floor. I thought they had announced Jessica Myers that had picked up her 5th a second ago, but it was clearly not her. However, that is the 5th they just announced to Skydasia Patterson of Hostos.
Skydasia not having the game that she's accustomed to having, but nonetheless doing everything that Hostos wants that obviously isn't shown in the stat sheet. Excellent morale for the team. Despite having that early technical foul, she really seemed to be a leader on the court for the Hostos the entire second half.
Myers with a team-high 18 points. She is a freshman, and you hope that she will continue her basketball career. BMCC does have a chance when they announce the Region 15 tournament that these two teams could meet up again, just like they did last year. They met about 2 weeks after last year's CUNY championship that was won by Hostos by 13. And they met again in the Region 15 tournament with a similar result. And with a foul on the floor last year in the Region 15 tournament, it was Hostos winning that game by 17 points. It was a foul over the back against Hostos as we near the final minutes. The Caymans led this game by just 6 at the break before they exploded with a big third quarter. As Wilson is able to rebound the miss originally from Omori Slayton, and the pass ahead for Howard is thrown out of bounds. But the Caymans set up to be a very dangerous team as they move forward into the national tournament, particularly off of last year's experience, where Taverny Winston felt, we learned we have the speed, the personnel, and we're going to try to make our team very battle-tested as we pursue a national championship in Rockford, Illinois. As Myers is able to put in the follow.
Number 14, Jessica Myers.
21 points from Jessica Myers tonight. And that is a new career high for her.
She's been the Panthers' best player tonight. Although in a losing effort, it's great to see her have the performance that she had, despite Nikola Zhilikova not having the night that she's used to having.
Shot with 1 to go, and the clock is off by Howard. And up ahead comes Villarreal. Final seconds here at BMCC. An impressive second half put together by the defending champions. It is a Hostos coronation. The Caymans make it back-to-back in CUNY Community College women's basketball. A huge second half leads them to a 73-50 final over BMCC.
Not the kind of game that we expected coming into tonight's matchup at BMCC. We hope Hostos can continue their success heading into the Region 15 tournament. They're going to want to play well. They're going to have to play like they are the #1 team in the nation. Wasn't that quite of a performance tonight, but there's a lot of potential heading into the tournament with this team. Performance from Kayla Wilson, Ashley Smith, Skydasia Patterson. They know they can come up when it means the most for this Hostos team. And also with Desiree Tolber coming in. Excellent night for her as well.
4 players in double figures for Hostos. We're coming back with the championship presentation and the reaction from the floor. As we continue on Facebook Live, you're watching the 2018 CUNY Community College Basketball Championships presented by the Army ROTC.
Kingsborough Community College ranks as one of America's top 4 community colleges because Kingsborough students have a high rate of success completing their degrees. They learn in over 50 programs enriched by honors courses and opportunities for civic engagement. They have outstanding success gaining well-paid employment or going on to a 4-year college. When you're ready to change your life, when you're ready to change the world, Kingsborough is here for you.
The best new sports web series is here. It's from Backpack Broadcasting, and it's called The Sports Walk. The Sports Walk is a series where diverse sports fans take a walk and share their views at the intersection of sports and society. The entire first season is now available on Backpack Broadcasting's YouTube channel and backpackbroadcasting.com. See what other sports fans have to say about a variety of issues in the world of sports. Watch all 13 episodes from season 1 and take The Sports Walk today.
Evans for three. Oh, how about that? And now the Dolphins break in as it's Wizakowski who drills it in. Trip, nice move, and finished. Nice pass, Core with the jam.
Yeah. Guys, the ball up to the near post, and there to hit the ball into the goal is Mustafa Harani.
And a slam by Sidney Wilson.
Hi, I'm John Starks.
What's going on? I'm Victor Cruz.
My name is David Diamante.
Hi, this is Larry Fitzgerald.
Hello, this is Spike Lee, and you're watching Backpack Broadcasting.
No one ever won a race because it was their turn. And guzzling the right sports drink never won all 3 sets. You can't talk your way through a tournament, and luck doesn't last. Real champions know that it takes more to do more, because wanting it just isn't good enough. You've got to be smarter, faster, tougher. After all, if championships were easy, everybody would have one. City University of New York Athletic Conference. Learn, play, succeed.
Enrolling in college can seem confusing, but at Kingsborough, we're here to guide you through the process.
From registration through graduation, there's always someone available to help you.
Your first stop is the Admissions Information Center located in the Academic Village. They can set up a tour of the campus and answer your questions about our majors and the admissions process.
On the second floor of the village, you can get help completing the free application form for Federal Student Aid, also known as FAFSA, so you can apply for financial aid.
It is important to complete the FAFSA even if you don't think you qualify for financial aid. About 6 out of 10 CUNY students actually attend tuition free, and many others have most of tuition covered by federal or state grants such as Pell and TAP.
If this is your first time attending college, your next stop is Freshman Services.
Freshman Services works with you from the moment you made that decision to come to Kingsborough Community College. We'll help you choose your classes for your first semester and actually register you for them. Once you're enrolled in classes, you'll be invited to attend our new student orientation, which we call Campus Fest.
Many freshmen choose to enroll in one of our learning communities. There you'll be part of a small group of about 25 students who participate in 3 linked courses: an English course, 1 course required for your major, and the 3rd course is a student development course designed to help you transition to college.
If you've attended any other college prior to Kingsborough, you'll enroll through our transfer office. We'll make sure that your transcript is evaluated and we'll assist you with registering for courses.
If you were educated outside of the U.S., like myself, you work closely with the International Students Affairs Office. Our student body is very diverse. We come from 142 different countries and speak 73 languages.
At a liberal arts college like Kingsborough, you have the opportunity to get a taste of many different subjects, from the social sciences to the fine arts to the natural sciences.
Kingsborough offers over 50 programs that prepare you either for a 4-year degree or to join the workforce right away.
In every department, we have faculty members who are actively involved in their fields and who teach because they want to.
We're creating new programs all the time. Among the latest additions to Kingsborough's programs are concentrations in animation, philosophy, food and beverage management, and the only paramedic degree program in Brooklyn.
Many students come here unsure about what they want to do with their lives. Use your elective credits to explore new things.
You should meet with your academic advisor each semester before you choose your courses so that you don't jeopardize your financial aid or delay graduating.
If you're interested in exploring subjects more in depth, you should consider the honors program.
At Kingsborough, we don't recruit honors students, we create them. Our honors program is open to students who have a 3.2 or higher GPA and are highly motivated. Those who have a 3.5 or higher GPA are invited to join Phi Theta Kappa, our 2-year international honors society, and many of our students apply for and receive wonderful scholarships as a consequence of their strong academics.
The experience is quite rewarding. This spring, I'll be going to Salzburg, Austria, to meet with wonderful students from around the world to work on global issues.
School shouldn't only be about work though. We have over 50 clubs and organizations you can get involved with. Some are social clubs, some center around social issues, others focus on student majors like Ceramics Club and the radio station. They plan activities like trips, lectures, and movies.
Also, in student publications, we have 4 different clubs: Scepter, our award-winning school newspaper; Antheon, our Journal of the Arts; Odyssey, our yearbook; and Paradox, a new comic book club.
Students should get involved with student government and other clubs. For one, you get to meet new people, get to try new things, and it looks great in your resume.
We also have a great sports program here. We have championship teams like men and women track and field, men and women soccer, basketball, volleyball, just to name a few. If you don't want to be on a team, we have a great intramural program. We also have a fitness center and a swimming pool. All you would need is your KCC student ID to use them.
One thing we're never short on here at Kingsborough is school spirit. We come together frequently throughout the year around programs such as our Seaside Splash and our Walkathon, which are fundraisers for student scholarships.
We also have a program called KCC Reads, where we adopt a book each year and hold events exploring themes in the book, including an annual student conference.
We don't believe that students should have to choose between school and basic needs like food and transportation.
So here at the Single Stop office, we can tell you all the public benefits you're eligible for in just a few short minutes. We also offer free financial counseling, free legal assistance, and free tax preparation for all students and anybody who lives with you. We have farm fresh produce that's grown right here on campus and distributed through the Single Stop office weekly. The college also runs a food pantry where you can walk in and get free, non-perishable goods to take home.
Not only will you save money completing your first 2 years here at Kingsborough, you'll find that senior colleges look favorably on those that have completed their associate's degrees.
It shows that you're motivated and can complete tasks.
Kingsborough graduates are guaranteed admission into a 4-year CUNY college.
Kingsborough grads have also gone on to complete 4-year degrees at colleges such as Mount Holyoke, Smith College, NYU, and Columbia University.
The transfer
Kayla, as a freshman, your first year with Hostos, the champs, what does it mean?
It means a lot to me because before I came here, I had a bad injury. I tore my ACL, and a lot of people told me that I wouldn't amount to anything. And for me to win this, it means a lot, but this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning.
What changed in the second half in this team? You know, it was an emotional first half, but you guys were able to buckle together at halftime and really change the tempo of this game. What worked?
We had to stay disciplined. We had to buy into the system and just listen to everything Coach said, and we did it and finished the game.
You said that this team is not done. What is this team's goals now as you further enter the postseason?
Well, the next step is the regionals, and we're looking to take that and then go to nationals and take the ring.
All right, Kayla, you know what? It is a tight-knit group. I could really tell that in watching you guys. There's just 7 of you. What is special about your group?
That we're a family. We work together, even though it's only 7 of us. We work together, and that's all you can do.
A double-double for you tonight. MVP. Why were you able to be so successful here tonight?
My thing is that it's not about me. It's about the team. I just did what I had to do when I had to do it, and that's about it.
Kayla, thanks so much for the time, and good luck, okay? Guys, back to you.
Much, Jillian, and thanks to Kayla Wilson, and congratulations for her 21-point, 11-rebound performance. 4 players in double figures. Hostos wins this one 73-52. Nick, some final thoughts as the Caymans look to pursue that national championship.
Well, one thing they got to do is protect the basketball a little bit better than what they did tonight. However, I do like the team chemistry that they do have. It's not one person that's taking all of it. It's just a team effort.
Let's go back to Jillian, who's got coach.
Coach, a lot of changes for you guys this season, but you go to 17 straight wins. You are the champions here tonight. What allowed Hostos to be so successful?
Our composure. You know, like I said about the first half, we were just sort of out of whack a little bit offensively and defensively, and I think that the first 3 possessions of the second half showed exactly what the outcome of the game was going to be.
What did you say to the girls after the game?
I was just so proud of them. I was proud of them because of the adversity that they went through the season. I was proud of them of the way they sort of stuck with it throughout the game. You know, we have a lot of freshmen who have never been in this position before, and you know, all I could say was I was proud. I was proud, but at the end of the day, this is the CUNY championship. We set out for this. We're happy that we won, but now we have to move forward to our regional championship.
You mentioned freshmen, and no freshman was all over the place more than MVP Kayla Wilson. A double-double for her, really working it on both sides of the ball. What does she mean to this team?
Kayla is everything. She's the heart and soul. She's the brawn. She just does everything right. The one thing that I love about her is that she does it on and off the court. She's a 3.6 GPA student. She does and works extremely hard on the court. It's just that type of hard work is gonna reap those type of benefits, winning MVP of this tournament.
And one player I've wanted to talk to you a lot about that really interested me heading into this game is she was all over the place. She may not have had the most points, is Desiree Tolbert. She has a 3-year-old, so she's a mother. She works full-time. She goes to school full-time. And until this year, she had never played organized basketball. What type of role model is she for this group?
That young lady is amazing. I can't even, there's no other adjective to describe her besides amazing. She never played organized basketball. She came in, we didn't even know if she was going to make the team. And that young lady, she works so hard. She's such a role model because when she comes in just with effort and hard work. that type of behavior is infectious, and that's the reason why we won today.
A win today, now you go to regionals. What did you see tonight that you guys want to change, and what's going to be your message to the girls at regionals?
Well, we definitely have to get better. We have some really good teams in the region, and if we play sharper and we play the way that we did in the second half, we'll be able to be victorious. We just got to stay composed. This tournament is going to be at Suffolk Community College. We have some teams that are going to be targeting us, and we just have to play tough.
Thanks for the time, Coach. Guys, back to you.
Thank you so much to DeVerney Winston and his staff and the Hostos to make it 17 straight wins. The number 1 team of the country is moving on following the 73-52 victory tonight. They're 22-2. They forced 40 BMCC turnovers. And the Caymans advance. They get the Region 15 tournament in their backyard before they pursue that national title.
And they have all the tools necessary to run the table into the Region 15 tournament. We hope the best for Hostos, as we know that they can pull it off.
4 players in double figures and great defense lead the way as the Caymans pick up their 2nd straight community college championship and the 6th in this great program's history. That'll do it for our entire crew this evening. For our producer and director, Dexter Henry, for my partner, Nick Diamitis, and for Jillian Zakovitz on the sideline, my name is Ralph Bednarczyk, thanking you for watching the CUNY Athletic Conference Community College Basketball Championships presented by Army ROTC on Facebook Live. We'll talk to you in about 20 minutes with the men's game coming up with Kingsborough and BMCC next.